Hi folks, thanks for joining me today. I just got in my winter maintenance kit. And what this is all about is that we're gonna do a fogging. We're gonna put new spark plugs in it. We're gonna use the Quick Storm fuel stabilizer. This is for when you store your boat, you put this in there as recommended, all on the back, so that the fuel system doesn't break down, it doesn't separate, and you get condensation in your gas tank. Then we're gonna put the anti-corrosive heavy-duty guard on it. We're gonna put it all over the engine. You can put this on anything. It protects from metal, corrosiveness, from freshwater environments, also salt water, and it's very good stuff. And what this does, it helps from being corrosive when you store it. And then we're gonna do the lower unit service to it with our 90 weight high performance gear lube from Mercury. This is what they recommend. You can use this in your lower unit, in your inboard and outboard. So we're gonna learn a couple of new tips. I'm gonna show you how to install spark plugs. And along the way, we're going to do an inspection and find things along the way that are going to help you keep your boat fine-tuned. Coming up. This is a very good product, and what it does is it helps prevent your piston rings from sticking to the side of the inside of the cylinder combustion chamber. So what happens is, if you collect a lot of moisture during your storage for the longevity of time, the piston is actually going to stick to the sidewall, and it could do damage, and it can create some damage to your piston rings and also your piston and the internal of the cylinder and the cylinder chamber of the piston. So what you want to do is, before you store your boat, you want to use a fogging oil. And this is the Mercury Storage Seal fogging oil. So what you do is you start your engine and you run it for 10-15 minutes just to get it hot. And after you get it hot, you're going to spray this into your intake system, and it's going to start to bog down a little bit. And sometimes it'll shut off. On the smaller engines, it'll shut off. And so after you do that, go ahead, shut it off, and then you're going to take your spark plug out and you're going to spray this directly into your spark plug hole. Just a couple shots. This stuff goes a long way, and you can do it to every cylinder. And after you do that, you're going to replace your spark plugs with new spark plugs, so that when you go to start your engine next spring or after 2 years or so, it'll start up fine. When you order this stuff, you can order it at a pair. You can get it at PartsVu.com. Just go to the winter maintenance section and just pick up one of these and a new fresh set of plugs that applies to your engine. So when you take your spark plugs out, you want to take them out one by one. And what I do is I number them so that I know what cylinder is which, just in case if I have a problem. So when I was taking these out, I inspected them, and I see corrosion right here on the bottom of the spark plug, right where it connects to the ignition wire. So I looked at that. This plug here, it's not burning very well. And the reason why is because this is corroded. So when I look at this, I go to the wire. Now I can look in here, and it's rusted. It's rusted out. That's a bad wire. So I'll go through every single one of my wires, and this is all rusted up inside and it's corroded. This one as well. So all these on the right side were corroded. When you get to the opposite side, you're going to go to the coil. And when you're going to inspect the coil, and then that coil, what I found on mine was it was corrosive. So what you do is you get some sandpaper and you clean off the pintle on the coil. You don't have to replace it unless it's bad, unless you got a major problem. So you can clean that off with sandpaper. So once you get that clean, you can put your new wire on and run your wire to your spark plug, and that'll be fine. You won't have any problem. So when I put the spark plugs in, the new ones, I always use an old boot. This is an old ignition wire boot, and it was pretty flexible. It's the best way to put your spark plugs back in so that you don't cross thread. You don't want to use the socket on the wrench on it. You could use a rubber hose and connect it to the back of the spark plug like that, and then just go ahead and put it right in there. And then you just screw it in and just give it a little lock. Give it a little lock. That's it. It's called Quick Store. It's from Mercury, and what we do with this is this fuel system stabilizer. So what you're going to do is you're going to go by the recommended on the back. You can do that. You can use this for storing your boat for a long time, and it's going to help keep that gasoline from separating, from gumming up, ruining anything in your gas tank or in your engine when you go to restart it again. This helps from the ethanol content breaking down. What you want to do is pour this in your gas tank. You could let it sit in there for a little bit, and then you can just go ahead and start your engine, get that fuel system, get this into your whole fuel system, and it'll run perfect. So, and then you can store your boat. So you can also use this at every gas tank. Use as recommended. Every gas tank fill up, and it'll help keep that system clean. It has a detergent in it. It's concentrated, works with gasoline, so it's very strong, very good for your engine, your inboard or your outboard engine. You can also use it for the storage of if you have storage in your gas lawnmower. You can use it in your fuel tanks, your gas cans, and this will help it from breaking down for long term. And so once you put this in there, you'll be good to go for next spring. So now I'm going to apply Corrosion Guard, the heavy duty. But you shake this up for about a minute. I've been shaking it for a little bit now. And you want to shake this up. And then you're just going to spray it along real gently, just like that, over everything, all your connections, just like that. Starter solenoid, the starter itself, all the connectors, the grounds. What it's going to do, it's going to dry. This is going to dry out. So what it's doing is putting a coat barrier over everything. And you're going to reapply this every week or so. But put a good coat on it when you do this. It'll be fine. All your linkages and everything. You go back and forth all the way around. It pretty much hits everything. Just like that, and it makes a barrier so that moisture doesn't collect on any of your connectors, any of your plugs, and you'll be good to go till next season. The high performance gear loop. I service my unit 2 to 3 times a season, and I always do that because I want to see if there's water intrusion in my lower unit. And what you want to do is you're going to order the pump. You're going to order 2 bottles because some take 1.5 or 1 1/4. Mine takes 1 of these. So I always order an extra one just in case if I'm on the road and I have to change it. So then you're also going to order the 2 gaskets, one for the upper and one for the lower. They're both the same, so you need 2. So anytime you're running water and you know, keep an eye on your lower unit. This is just for to do the lower unit service. I highly recommend using the Mercury high performance gear lube. This stuff is amazing stuff, and what you want to do is make sure every time you service it, you're looking for any type of foam buildup. That means that you have a leak. If you have a leak, then you're going to want to take your boat in to the closest service center and go ahead and get that checked out. You're going to pop off bottom one and then the top, and you're going to look for any types of debris or anything in your magnet. You know, this is pretty clean. You got 2 gaskets, one here, one here. You got to replace those. You use a little pick and pick these out of here, the old gaskets. Every time you do your lower unit service, you got to replace them. And what you're looking for, see if there's any water intrusion. It'll be milky, so that looks really good. And we'll just let that drain and we'll change it out. Okay, so the fluid's all done dripping. I got my adapter all connected here on the lower side. And then what we're gonna do is just gonna pump this in. You're gonna see this fluid going right in. We're gonna fill it up until we see it coming out of the top. We want to get all those air bubbles out of there. So we're going to pump this until we start seeing fluid coming out the top. I have my top plug ready with the new gasket, and I have my lower plug ready with the new gasket. Now it's coming out. You can see all these air bubbles. So I'm going to keep pumping until I don't see no more air bubbles. And there we go. It's coming out nice and easy. There you go. I'm going to put my top plug in first. And I'm going to tighten this up. Now I can disconnect my lower one. And I'm just going to plug it here. Put my lower plug in. There you go, and that's it. How you service your lower unit. Thanks for watching, and happy boating.